Catch a BB in the dark at midnight with no moon with my sunglasses on.
What is it again? Start at the beginning.
So I'm Johnny the Jet Rodgers.
Yeah.
I can make your knees squeeze and your liver quiver. Put more glide in your stride and more dip in your hip. And if you can't dig that mess, you got the wrong address. And I can catch a BB in the dark at midnight with no moon with my sunglasses on. If you don't believe me, ask Tom Osborne.
Head coach of the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Because I'm here with one of the Cornhuskers greats, Nebraska's greats, the very first Heisman Trophy winner from the University of Nebraska. When did you, Johnny the Jet Rodgers, got to get in there. First of all, when did that poem, that thing that you just said, when did you start saying that? When did that get attached to you?
Just now.
Just now?
Yeah.
You're just starting in it?
Just now.
But what about the Jet? When did you get nicknamed the Jet?
Lyle Brimser, one of the greatest sportscasters in Nebraska football history, named me the Jet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can only assume
I've turned into the prop plane, but I used to be the Jet.
Was that, what year in college? Was that sophomore year? You were the Jet?
1969 is when I went to the University of Nebraska.
Yeah.
1970, I was, all Big Eight. From then on, I've been All-American and the Heisman Trophy winner, most valuable player in the history of the Big Eight Conference, Hall of Fame, Husker Player of the Century. I have a few titles, but I like the most valuable player of the Big Eight Conference the most. And Tom Osborne's testimony is that I'm the only person and guy in college football who never had a fair catch. I ran every single one back.
That's pretty awesome.
I had a green light.
Rodgers deep for Nebraska. Here's Wiley's kick. Gets high. It holds up there. Rodgers takes the ball at the 30. He's hit and got away. Back upfield to the 35, to the 40. He's to the 45. He's to the 50, to the 45, to the 40, to the 35, to the 20, to the 10. He's all the way home. Holy moly. Man, woman, and child did that. Put them in the aisles. Johnny the Jet Rodgers just tore them loose from their shoes.
How do you feel about that nowadays when you're watching it? We talked a little bit on the elevator. But
I can't believe that they're fair catching kickoff returns.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. When I went to Montreal, I never fair caught either because they didn't have fair catches because they realized that the fans want that experience of the guy running it back. So they made sure that they give you 5 yards to catch it, but you had to run it. When I was in college, I just wanted to run it.
Right. Why did you want to score?
Yeah,
every time
you
you
can't
touch the ball?
score if you fair catch.
You were the first wide receiver to get the Heisman Trophy as well.
Right.
What was it mostly running backs, quarterbacks getting it back then?
Well, even still, mostly running backs and quarterbacks are getting the Heisman Trophy. It's kind of different for a wide receiver to get the Heisman. We've had a few, but I was the first one. We had maybe one tight end and a few wide receivers. Tim Brown won the Heisman Trophy. He was a wide receiver as well.
Yeah.
But more times than not, somebody who's touching the ball more is getting the Heisman.
Yeah, you touched the ball quite a bit. At least yeah.
Well, I played wide receiver. I played running back. I played wing back. I did punt returns. I did kickoffs. Actually threw for touchdowns.
You did?
Yeah. I have a deal in the Orange Bowl in my Heisman year. They had the royalty of the Orange Bowl where I scored 4 touchdowns and threw a touchdown.
That was 73, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 73 Orange Bowl, yeah.
Before half. That's in the first 2 quarters.
And those are the stories that Nebraska fans like to talk to you about. Do you ever get tired of just talking about those stories?
No, they're about me.
I know, yeah. That's awesome. I've got this new program, so forgive me, I got my phone in my hand because it's kind of recording us here on our microphone, so we're the first ones using this program here, so this is awesome. What I learned about you because, I've known you now close to 10 years.
Right.
Because you've been working with companies that I've been working with as you bring a lot of people to our area when we do conferences out. You bring the Heisman Trophy, you take pictures with people, and people are always happy to see it. They're happy to see that trophy. So,
that's kind of what really draws attention. Most time we're on the national scene, people have no idea who I am, but they know what the Heisman Trophy is. And to give an opportunity to take their picture with me and the Heisman Trophy is something that they've never had an opportunity to do before. So no matter what is your fan base, you still want to get a picture with that Heisman Trophy. So Mike has been smart enough to realize that that's going to attract attention, and that's kind of what he does well.
And it's not. I think you're at the perfect perfect area for celebrity status. Because if you're a Tom Brady, you can't go anywhere. You can't go to the grocery store. You can't do that. But where you're at, the state of Nebraska, the Big 12 conference, the old Big 8, everybody knows Johnny Rodgers, right? So it's a comfort area. You can still go to the grocery store, but you're in a high demand. People want to see you. People want to get your
we're
autograph.
in the Big 10 now.
Is it? Oh, that's where you moved over.
We're in the Big 10
Don't remind me.
now.
Yeah.
But like I said, my real big attraction, I think, for football, college football enthusiasts, to be able to take a picture with the Heisman Trophy, which is probably the most prestigious trophy that we have, it doesn't make a difference who you are. You have to. You've made some accomplishments, and they're going to take a picture with you because they're into college football.
What kind of camaraderie do you have with the other Heisman Trophy winners? Recent past to before you to after you.
Well, we have a pretty good fraternity. If I call on someone to do something with me or for me, I'm going to get cooperation, and they call me, I'm going to give them cooperation. We have a brotherhood and a fraternity, and we're pretty darn loyal. We have nothing against each other because we're a very elite group. It's probably the most elite fraternity in the country.
Absolutely. It sounds all the Heisman Trophy winners.
Yeah,
over
all the
years.
Heisman Trophy winners and those that are still alive.
Right. Is there any? Do you guys have like a group idea of who you would kick out of that fraternity? Is there one player over the? I'm not going to make you answer that, but is there one that you're just like, how did they get this Heisman and why are they in our fraternity?
They have kicked out. What's his name? Ricky, from USC.
Yeah. They took his Heisman
They
back.
took his Heisman.
Yeah.
He's the only one. But
Ricky.
but
I
can't remember.
Smoking weed, wasn't it? Was it?
No,
I'm thinking the wrong one.
I think it's pay for play.
Yeah,
or something
I forget the name. Yeah, but he's a running back.
I forget Ricky too. Yeah, but I think he's still part of our deal. But I think they took his trophy. But we would never take a Heisman Trophy away from him because we're not trying to judge. We're all in different times, different eras. We all have different accomplishments, and we're not in competition with each other because whatever your year is, that is your time.
You're the best of your best.
You're the best of that time in the history of the world, and there won't be any changes made in that area.
So you won your junior year?
Senior year.
Senior year, you won your. And then you guys went to the Orange Bowl. That's where I get mixed up.
We went to Orange Bowl 3 years in a row.
Amazing.
And won 3 years in a row. We beat Notre Dame our final year. That's why I was just telling you that I scored 4 touchdowns and threw one before half against Notre Dame, 46-6.
How much memorabilia do you have from that game at the house right now?
I really don't keep too much memorabilia. I don't read my newspaper clippings. I'm always progressive, what's going to happen next in the future. I don't think of the past, and I'm not really into the awards. It's
right.
And I never really checked out teams too much. Whoever showed up just got it.
Yeah.
I'm not really a big fan. I'm more for participant type of deal. So I don't get into those things. It's about what am I going to do next.
You're very humble.
Not what have I really done lately.
Yeah. It's what you can be instead of what you have been.
Well, that's what success is. Not about what you get. Success is not about getting things. Success is about attraction. How much can you attract people or success to you because of just how good you are at whatever you choose to do.
Yeah.
And you can choose to do whatever you want. Things come to you by choice, not by chance. Basically, you can get anything you want in this world if you just help enough other people get what they want.
That's the secret of life, you think?
Yeah, pretty much. You got to help. You got to give to get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Earlier, we had lunch today, and you were telling me about how Bob Gibson's, was it his son or his...
Bob Gibson's brother
yes.
was my first baseball coach and pretty much taught me how to be a world-class baseball player. And I was lucky enough to get drafted by the Los Angeles Dodgers out of high school. And so it was a decision for me to play with the Dodgers or actually to go to the University of Nebraska. And I got an opportunity kind of to do both, to play baseball and football because they gave me a scholarship in both.
And so you went to the University of Nebraska because you wanted to be, you were one of the first to sport. I mean, Jim Thorpe and all that, but really kind of coming to the modern day to the Bo Jacksons of the world.
Probably, but I really don't know. I think so, but I really don't know. I don't keep track of those things. I'm not worried about what other people have done. I don't do it because they've done it. I do it because I can do it. And I don't follow a lot of people. I follow Marlon Briscoe was a kind of a a hero of mine. Bob Gibson was certainly a hero of mine. Gale Sayers was kind of a hero of mine. Bob Boozer was a
he's
hero
a Kansas
of mine.
guy, right? He's a Kansas.
All those guys are from Nebraska.
But he's a Jayhawk.
No, they're all from Nebraska, though.
We always have this
we branched out all over the world, but they were born in Omaha, Nebraska is why I'm bringing them up. Because they call it Omaha. You know what Omaha means?
No.
Omaha means against the current. It's from the Omaha Indians.
This is what Omaha is? That's Omaha?
Omaha.
And it means against the...
It means against the current or against the wind. And we have a lot of people from Omaha that went around from different parts of the country and did great things, and they went against that current.
You're born and raised in Nebraska.
Right.
And you live in the same neighborhood you grew up in.
Right.
And are you just somebody that doesn't like change, or you just love it there?
No, I believe that the only thing that's consistent is change. That you have everything changed, nothing really stays the same.
Yeah.
I have a base there, but I'm doing a lot of different things there.
Travel a lot?
I travel a lot all over, but my base is pretty much Omaha because my mother's still alive. Mm-hmm. I got 8 great-grandchildren there, 4 or 5 grandchildren. And I have president of the 100 Black Men of Omaha, which is a mentoring organization. If I'm going to mentor other people's kids, I need to stick around and mentor my own.
So it's called the 100 Black Men mentoring program?
100 Black Men of Omaha, but we're connected with the 100 Black Men in the country.
Yeah.
We have a black mentoring organization that's throughout the country.
And what is, I don't want to just guess because it sounds obvious, it's a mentorship for black men, African American men. But give me a little, am I right? Give me into detail. How does it work?
Well, we mentor young black men into trying to be better. What they see is what they're going to be. Mm-hmm. And so we try to kids don't do what you say, they do what they see you doing. Mm-hmm. So it's important that we be on the spot with them to help them get through where they're going. Now, my emphasis as coming in to be the president, I emphasize the trades. I came from a large trade school. When I was in school, Tech High was the second largest high school in the United States, and we were a trade school. Mm-hmm. And everybody that came out of a trade school always had something they could do. We didn't have a big gang deal. We didn't have a big thing in poverty. They had a problem getting into the unions, but even if you didn't get in the union, you always had something you could do because you had a trade. Mm-hmm. Now America is dying for trade people to get into the trades because of the infrastructure and all the different holocausts going on around the country where you have hurricanes and this, that, and other, and you need people to come in. So if you are a teacher, you can get $40,000 base pay, with your degree, 4-year degree. If you want to be a policeman, you can get about $60,000. You want to be a plumber or an electrician, you can get about $104,000.
Yeah. That's coming from a construction family. There's a lot of money in trade business and trade work.
You can make as much money as a doctor, and you come out of school with no student loan debt.
Is there a lack of African Americans in the trade industry or in those
There's
jobs?
a lack of Americans in the trade industry, and so there's definitely a lack, and we need more to be able to get to money quicker.
Yeah.
And so with a 2 degree, you could be a CDL license. You can get there in 3 months.
Yeah.
Making $50,000 a year out of high school, out of college.
What's the thought process behind when you mentor somebody that needs a mentorship? How do you guys, is it like a one-on-one program, or do they have a group of guys?
Both.
Yeah.
We do one-on-one mentoring and we do group mentoring as well. Tom Osborne has a mentoring organization that goes across the state. Uh-huh. He collaborates with me in order to get into the black neighborhoods, Omaha public schools, so we can get more visibility in that area. And so we kind of collaborate together because there's some things that he does during school time that we do after school. Mm-hmm. He has one-on-one during the day, and we do a lot on the weekends. And, I might take a lot of our guys to the football games, per se. They come into the schools and actually mentor the guys pretty much once a week.
What's the average age of somebody who's being mentored?
Starting in the 3rd grade.
Okay.
So it's young. We'll take them from the 3rd grade all the way to being a senior and through college, and all the way to actually to be able to procure a job.
And I bet you guys have created some relationships that have lasted for a long time.
Well, it's like mentoring for a lifetime.
Yeah.
It doesn't really end. And that's what I've noticed. When I first did mentoring, I was mentoring with Tom Osborne's organization, and I had a third grader. That third grader right now is 25 years old. And I tried to get away from him. His family begged me to stay with him, and so I've stayed with him all that time. And you just can't really get away. There's no reason to get away. You're gonna. That's my position, his position, and as long as we can take the direction, then we're pretty much sure they're going in the right direction. Because our only motivation is to try just to make sure they do better in life than they would possibly have done without your mentoringship. And like I said, my big thing is, like I said, they don't, not what you tell them, what you show them.
True story.
So the better I do, the better they do.
So what do you say to a kid, 6th grade, 7th grade years, because I tend to stay into sociology. I tend to look and see how things in America work and how different mindsets work. And I know that when I was younger, I thought I was going to play football, pro football one day, right? Until I got kind of high school, and I'm like, I'm not going to play football one day, or pro football. You being somebody who's had major success from playing football, from playing a sport, college basically. Was college paid for? Was it all scholarship, or did you have a student loan chat afterwards? And then you went on and you played pro ball in Canada. What do you say to a young kid like that just doesn't think they're going to do anything else with their life but play pro ball? They're going to be a pro ball player. Do you encourage them, or do you try to say, hey, listen, the world needs plumbers too, just in case it doesn't work out?
Well, that's the message. The world needs plumbers too, just in case it doesn't work out.
Okay.
Now, it's about as hard to be a brain surgeon as it is to be a professional football player, but it could happen.
Absolutely.
So you really can't discourage them for the growth. But if it doesn't happen, then we do have to have some type of a plan B to do the things that you possibly are good at. The guy that I was talking about, he wanted to be a doctor. Mm-hmm. Then my first mentee, when he was in the 3rd grade, and I pushed him towards electricians, and he pushed for being a doctor. Well, the reality was you have to have a strong base or parenting to help you all along the way in order to be a doctor, because it's very expensive to be a doctor.
Do you think that's the most important foundation, parents?
Yeah, that's your first mentor.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of our kids, if you got your dad in jail, then you're probably not going to have that type of support.
Do you see that with a lot that you work with, one-parent households? And
we have a lot of one-parent households, and these days we have parent households that are grandparents. That the mother could be in jail just equally as the guys and the dad's in jail. Mm-hmm. We have kids that are 14 years old that are going to jail and being charged like adults here right now. So it's one of the things that we tell them when you get into trying to get the scholarships that we are giving out, that you really have to stay out of trouble, you have to stay off drugs, and you have to be darn near that same kind of way when you're even trying to be a mentor. Because finding good mentors is very one of the toughest jobs that we have. And so Tom Osborne and I are going on a recruiting deal to try to attract as many quality mentors as we can to go with our mentees.
That's pretty awesome. They ask you about your ring. What you got there? What ring is that?
That's the Heisman Trophy.
That is
ring.
Drew, have you seen this? You want to walk over and look at it? Can I take a picture of that, Johnny, while we're even just doing? Oh, you're going to take it off.
Oh,
that
sure.
Is,
there you
look
go.
At this thing. Let me.
Here, stick it on your finger.
Oh, it's beautiful. Look at that thing. I know whoever's listening to it can't.
That's the only one they have for 1972.
That is beautiful. Look at this, Drew. You want to take a look at that? Yeah. That's called a retirement plan. You hear about some of these. Well, I've heard about there was a player in the past or someone was going to sell their Heisman Trophy. I think at one time O.J. lost his or was going to sell his or something like that. But that's going to be pretty prestigious,
Billy Sims sold his.
Yeah.
There's different people that are selling them.
Yeah.
You can get $250,000 or so. I'll probably sell mine for about $500,000.
Yeah. Taking offers.
I can be bought.
Yeah, but it's yours. There's no stipulation to it. It belongs to you. It's 100% yours.
Oh, yes. If I had the same trophy, the one you see, Joey, is the one I've had since the beginning.
Yeah. How would you feel if somebody sold the Jet Trophy? The award that you give out. How would you? You'd be like, all right, what do you think those go for? They's got to go for $100,000, $200,000.
Well, Possibly.
It was a good segue for me to start talking about the award that you brought to college football.
Well, really, the ones that are really valuable are the Legends trophies, because all of my legend guys, like Billy White Shoes Johnson, they're all pros.
Yeah.
My legend guys are more famous than my athletes that are. Dante Peppers actually won last year. Mm-hmm. Billy White Shoes Johnson is far more famous than he is. So those trophies would go for quite a nice penny here.
They're beautiful. Tell me how the Jet Trophy, because it is the website I was looking at, the Jet Award, the jetaward.com is what you brought to college football for. I'll have you just tell the story.
Well, in 2011, I came up with an idea throughout the plan. The creator just sent it to me that they didn't have an award for punt return and kickoff guys. They had an award for the best center. They have an award for the best linebacker, running back, quarterback, but they didn't have an award for the best punt return or kickoff return guys in college football. And these are the guys that, from week to week, they bring their best when it matters the most, and they have 100-yard touchdowns. How do you not have an award for guys who run 100-yard touchdowns?
One of the most dangerous positions to play, too.
Most exciting positions in football. So in 2011, I actually created that idea, and we started a trophy and event, and we started using that to actually raise money to give kids scholarships in the trades.
Yeah.
And we started to do that, and we wanted to give an awards to guys who never got awards back in my day and way before in the early 1900s. And
so you went back in time and went ahead and awarded yearly then as well?
That's what Billy White Shoes, the Legends trophies,
pretty cool.
are for those guys.
Yeah.
And they're more famous than my college guys.
So you call those the Legends?
Yeah, they're the Legends.
Okay.
They're Legends. They're all big guys. And like I said, their trophies are far more valuable than the current guys who are winning. But our current guys are probably doing better in pro football than our Heisman Trophy winners are doing.
That's crazy. That's pretty. What do you just wake up one day and you go, you know what? There's not an award for that. How do you start with that? Do you call an agent? Do you call the NCAA, or do you call a sponsor? Like, how do you start that process?
Well, I just started.
Oh, that's all it takes. Yeah.
Whoever has an idea, it's their responsibility to get it going. And so I had the idea, and I started, and I got a few people together. We created the award. We got a dinner. We had no idea how it was going to work. We had, I think, my first dinner. At my first dinner, I probably had 250 people.
Wow.
Now I do 600, 700, 800, 900.
Yeah. And that's yearly.
Yeah, and I think we charge them, $20, $30, $40. Now we charge them. I have $5,000 tables, $15,000 tables. I just got a $50,000 contribution.
Wow.
Yeah, the state gives us another $50,000.
Who determines who the winner is? Who gets the award?
Sports people around the country.
The writers so basically on the same kind of level as the Buckus Award and all that as well.
And the Heisman, yes.
So do you think I could start an award for the best centers that play at schools that never win any games?
You could do whatever you think of.
Yeah, just coming over there.
Yeah.
I know how much
you are what you think about most of the time.
I know how much you love my Jayhawks, even though they're not in the same conference now. We are struggling, still struggling.
They've been struggling since Jesus was a kid.
Yeah. So with how did you get, and I'll wrap this up because we're right at 1 o'clock. I got to get you downstairs. You're going to be signing autographs, taking pictures with the people here, which, by the way, Drew, I don't know if we have. I couldn't get these on stock, on hard paper. My father's a huge fan. Whoops, excuse me. That's Jessica looking for Johnny Rodgers right now. Do you recognize anybody that's in these pictures?
That's Johnny Musso, the Italian stallion, laying right down there. This is the Oklahoma run.
Can I get you to sign this for my dad? His name is Dave.
No problem.
And this one's for his buddy, Bill. But while you're writing this, how did you ever get hooked up with, it was Vin Solutions, the company that I first met you with.
I don't even remember. It's been so long ago.
It's been so long. It's always been there?
Vin Solutions, that's where we actually started. And then when Mike took off on his own, I started doing things for him, and he vowed that he would never go to a convention without me, and he hasn't.
We always have you. Look at this. I'm getting messages saying, "Where's Johnny? We need Johnny." So I guess I got to get you downstairs.
Live?
No. They're just texting me going, "Where's Johnny? We need Johnny." So we'll wrap this up. Johnny, I appreciate it. I'm going to get this out. I'll get you a copy of this, too. I'm going to make sure
great.
This is actually recording. And so thanks, everybody. Johnny the Jet Rodgers, philanthropist, leader, mentor, and, of course, Heisman Trophy winner. I appreciate it, Johnny. Thank you for the friendship over the last 10 years.
Thank you, Joey. My pleasure, brother.
Kitty Cat Dance Party.